You're gonna have to do cuts like they do in the studio.
That's all right. We can cut it short if you want or whatever works. No big deal.
Record
I
it.
I started recording now. I was looking up crap about that Vivek Ramaswamy guy.
Yeah,
And
right.
admittedly, I haven't looked at any of the candidates really other than him, just because everyone seems to be talking
Oh,
about him.
right. And it was refreshing to see somebody who wasn't an 80-year-old man.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
like
I mean, I
like
think that's
we need,
huge.
yeah, but not somebody who's Pharma Bros #1 fan.
So the funny thing is like if you look at what he brought up at that what the hell, the debate or whatever you want to call it, like he
Did you
said
watch
he
it?
I saw clips of it. I was just looking it up. And
Maybe
like,
I should watch it.
there were some articles where people were talking about like what he brought up, and I guess one of the big things he touted was um he basically wanted to stop all the endless money getting sent to Ukraine because he thinks it's being misappropriated or misused. And the problem is though is that they said, I read another article where they said that all the money, whatever the hell billions that we decided to send them, was allocated, but not all of it's been distributed. And it could be until like all these bills that they're passing can take years to distribute the money. And I guess the official budget office reports, um, they expect to provide emergency funding for Ukraine and the neighboring countries at least until 2032. I mean, you're talking like 10 years at this point of us giving them money just from what, this
But
war that happened.
but why?
Well, and that, I think that's his thing, is because like I looked it up and I guess the president does have the ability to halt those future payments, like everything up until this point, like, and that's still going out. Like, obviously, he wouldn't be able to stop it. But like, if he becomes president, like one of the first things he could do is say, "Look, we're going to stop all aid to Ukraine," because his thought is that we need to focus it elsewhere, against Russia, against China, against Korea, and other threats. Like, because clearly Ukraine is doing a good job. I don't know, but I don't know why we're
So,
still sending them money.
so have we sent them any money? Are
Yeah,
you
I
saying it's, you
guess
said allocated, not distributed?
so. So according to this, actually, here I got an article. Um, so 95% of discretionary spending for Ukraine goes to the Department of Defense and State Department, which basically distributes that money. They're saying that tracking every dollar appropriated is difficult. Blah blah blah. Large portion goes towards security and economic concerns for the U.S. and European allies. So we're basically giving money to ourselves over there to help, I guess. um, Several billion is used for domestic security concerns, so stuff within Ukraine and replenishing U.S. military equipment and ammunition that we may have there that like is helping them or we're using.
But
Um,
has it been distributed?
yeah,
Like,
so
was it?
that part's been distributed, I guess. Um,
Hmm.
Apparently, they're also putting funding towards cybercrime, which they're saying could potentially go on well after the conflict is over. So that could possibly be distributed for the next 10 years.
We're funding
Like,
Ukraine,
yeah, national,
Ukrainian cyber
well,
security.
cybersecurity. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Apparently, the
Like, couldn't we
Ukrainians
pay
don't
our
have
own
their own.
guys? Couldn't we
I
pay
don't
our own
know.
guys?
I have no idea who it is. This article
They
doesn't
don't.
say.
They don't need to go in with a backpack and a gun. They can do it from home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
I mean,
guess
I
it's,
could see that being valuable if we own their cybersecurity.
yeah. But then see,
Like, you
that's,
know what I mean?
to me, that's like, why would we do that? If we want the conflict to end, like, I get it, while they're there, we could help them if we've got better people, better support, better ability to fight that kind of stuff. But then educate them and say, look, okay, now you guys are on your own. We're going to go back and
Well,
focus on us.
I mean, how did that go in Afghanistan?
Well, I
Like, didn't the
mean,
Taliban just walk right in there and
yeah,
close their
yeah,
whole
we pulled
country
out
again?
and they started fighting back, but they were no Ukrainians, I guess, if you want to put it in a different light.
Yeah, like that's kind of the balance we have to strike. I think that most
I think so.
Afghanistanians? I don't know what the word
So
is.
so
Afghans.
so here we
Most
go.
Afghans
Afghans, yeah.
probably would have rather not have the Taliban in there.
I agree. I think, I mean, like,
But how long were we there? A
oh
long
God,
time,
it
right?
was like 20
18
years.
years?
Yeah, 20 years almost
Yeah.
or something crazy.
And the Taliban walked in over a weekend.
Well, yeah, as soon as we literally pulled, like, we didn't have everybody out of there and they were already going back
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, America's leaving? All right, we'll go just take everything back.
Yeah. And it was like a peaceful transition, right? Like we
Right,
you know
right.
what I
You would have
mean?
thought it
Like
would have been easy.
we had conversations with them and they're like, all right, we'll get out by this time. And they're like, okay. Like, what the hell?
Yep,
Like,
yep.
that was a waste. That was like what was what was the purpose?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
know, I know. I mean, it's silly that it even goes that far. And I mean,
But
same thing with Ukraine though. Like, how long are we going to be there after this conflict's over? You know, shoring them up or helping them.
right. And I would be interested in what the repayment plan is. I
I
assume these are
doubt they're gonna.
loans.
Yeah, I doubt they're gonna repay it. Come on.
This isn't we're not a nonprofit.
No, no, but you know,
And like that's what
I
I'm interested in because we all see this, we're giving them, giving them. But I
yeah,
hope there's someone's holding them to the fire over a repayment plan at the end of all this, if
yep.
there is an end.
Well, and that's what this guy's Ramaswamy is saying is he wants to stop that aid, and that they should make concessions to end the conflict, like Ukraine should, because clearly, and I don't know, maybe this is just me
Oh,
paraphrasing it,
there's
but I
no way. There's no way they're gonna make
no,
concessions.
no. I mean, I'm reading this article and they're like, oh yeah, this is what he stated. Now I didn't watch the thing, so I don't know what he actually said, but it sounds like, you know, he almost feels like they're taking advantage of us, which as a person on the outside, like 100 and some billion we've sent them, yeah, that's like taking advantage of us.
Well, we haven't sent it all, is what you're saying,
Right. So
right?
so this article says this year, 2023, they're sending 38 billion. Next year it's going to be 21 billion. 2025 it's 13 billion, and it kind of staggers down. By 2032 it's only going to be 6 million. But I guess the problem is they call this Ukraine Supplemental Appropriations Act. Apparently it's a thing now, like an actual act that we've put into law. Like any president, whoever the next president is, or the next guy that could change any of this at any time. So he could reappropriate funds elsewhere and take it away, or completely stop it, or say, hey, we're going to give you more because shit didn't work the first time and I feel like being generous. I don't know. I mean, it seems stupid that one guy is making that decision. You know, and
Well, I mean, that's the purpose of the president.
right, but like, does anybody look at what's involved? Like does the, you know, everybody says that, like, oh, Biden's got ties to people over there and company over there. His son's got a business in Ukraine. A lot of the sitting senators have, you know, ties to businesses in Ukraine. And where's that money going? Well, I don't know. I mean, nobody's really dug into it. So, you know, maybe they'll find nothing. Maybe they will find something. But who's to say the next guy doesn't have, you know, somebody from Ukraine in his pocket that's going to be like, yeah, I'll get you tons of money because I'll reappropriate funds. I mean, I don't know what they're saying behind closed doors.
Yeah, and I hear what, you know, for him to say that it's that the money is you know, potentially dirty, not dirty, but being used
Yeah.
not
There's no
correctly.
accountability. Yeah, there's no accountability.
I would be interested in a deep dive in his companies. I'm betting it's not being
Oh
used
yeah.
correctly. I mean,
Well,
he's a pharma guy. He's
yeah.
pharma bro.
Yes.
He's
That's what you said. He
there's
backs the guy.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
there's
doesn't
no
seem
way
so for like
he's clean.
all the good shit he talks about, like that's the one thing. And I mean, he's not the only one that's like this. I'm sure the other candidates are the same way because they want to appeal to as many people as possible. And if that means towing the line on both sides, so you
Oh
can
yeah,
kind of grab a majority of people on either side, that's what they're going to
yeah,
do to get elected. I mean, that's what they all do. That's
yeah.
politics.
He's selling snake oil. I would be interested in what his approach on healthcare is going to be. That's what I would be interested in because
Well,
he's in pharmaceutical. That
yeah.
should be his strength.
Well, see, the funny thing is like he made a comment about he believes there should be no national abortion ban. So that whole Roe versus Wade thing, like that got
Comes back.
overturned. Yeah, he wants to like be like, hey, this shit's wrong. Which I don't.
Well,
I
he can't
mean,
do it.
well, that's the thing is he's not going to be
Isn't
the
that
one
the
to do
Supreme
that.
Court's job?
Yeah, like he could pressure them, and he
That
could
like
maybe
when France raised the retirement age to 72
right.
and the whole country went nuts.
They burned it to the ground.
Yeah, there's no way.
But then you've got like, then he goes out on a weird thing and he's like, oh, the government told lies to us about 9/11. Now, like that
Oh,
seems
Jesus.
real, like conspiracy theorist side type thing.
I mean, it's sad, but I think we've normalized it to where we've accepted that we're being lied to about
Right,
anything,
right.
right? So,
Shit, I think, I mean, the fact that nobody reacted to basically a guy coming out and telling the world, oh yeah, there's aliens, we have crafts, we have this. Like nobody cared. It was like,
yeah,
whatever.
I think we all just assumed that they were there.
Yeah, like all those people that like that family in Vegas that videotaped that thing in their backyard called the cops. They're like, finally, someone believes us.
Yeah.
Every tinfoil hat wearing guy that wanted to raid Area 51 is like, see, I told you.
Yeah.
But see, what's hilarious to me, and we saw how this worked for Kennedy. Ramaswamy says he thinks the FBI should be abolished. Now, depending who you ask, that's why Kennedy got assassinated, because he said the same thing. And I don't know. I mean, that's a conspiracy theory right there, but
Aren't they too big to fail?
FBI? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. How many agents do they have?
There have been
Like-
other people that say that like FBI and CIA we don't need them for what they do. They're basically
I don't know about
espionage,
that.
but they're also doing shit against the American citizens, which, clearly they don't want people to do. Spying on us, tracking phone calls, whatever the hell they're doing. I don't know. But I mean,
Well, but they're doing it. There's some sort of ladder of direction, right? Like they're not.
yeah.
They're not just drinking Mountain Dew and spying on random phone numbers.
Right. Well,
Somebody
like so
said this is our. Somebody provided a pie chart and said this is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Or a Venn diagram.
And I mean, like, to me, it's like, because he goes on to even say about how like Trump was saying that the FBI is part of a witch hunt against him to try and get him arrested for whatever the hell this, the crap he's got his mugshot, went to jail for, so it's like a lot of sitting presidents feel like FBI, CIA, whatever is a waste of time. But like Ramaswamy says, he wants to repurpose and reorganize the funding to like the NSA, Secret Service, Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, and like even Defense Intelligence, like stuff that, to me, that's meaningful stuff. Like,
isn't the CIA Defense Intelligence?
I don't know. I don't know what the hell. There's so many freaking different things. Like maybe they're a subset of it. I don't know. I mean, financial crimes, isn't that like FBI? Don't they investigate that crap? I don't know.
Well, and who are they going to investigate? Are they going to look at corporations? No.
Well, that's the
They're
thing.
going to look at the people trying to work 3 jobs and maybe try to take advantage of some tax loophole.
Like maybe they need to investigate Pharma Bro and why he jacked up the price of that, shot to like $800 a piece.
Right. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like, I don't know, you look at the candidates, and I tell my wife that all the time, like, I vote for
Who's least evil.
Yeah, the lesser of two evils, because honestly, like they've all got their good and bad. This guy,
Yeah.
you look at one article, and it's like, this is everything he wants, and it's good. Look at the other article, it's like, oh, he wants this, and this is bad. It's like, well,
Yeah, and well, and our value system is so hosed that people are value money and
yeah,
power.
yeah,
Nobody's doing anything for the common good. And then it's just it'll never be like, I don't know what the word is, maybe pure. I don't know.
right,
But
right.
this guy is gonna have like healthcare related people in his ear. I want to know who
Right.
those people are.
Well, yeah. I mean, are we going to get another pandemic that comes up and him and his buddies are going to make tons of money because he's got investments in all these pharma companies or whatever? I don't
Yeah,
know.
and like, how much money did he get from the Sacklers?
Well, and so that's the one thing I don't get with, like, wasn't there that law that we talked about, how was it Rhode Island or whatever, they were going to allow like corporations to vote?
Yeah,
Like if
Massachusetts, I think.
yeah, like if I'm a pharmaceutical company, like I'm going to vote and donate to his fund because everything he talks about might, support me and might make me more money. And
Yeah,
and I think that's the whole thing. Like, all these companies and these big people that donate to someone's campaign. I mean, call it a donation because, the guy says, "Oh, here's $1 million to your campaign." It's a bribe, is really what it is.
right.
Here's $1 million. Remember me when time comes to pass that bill, type thing. Like,
Yeah, it's
come
just
on.
scratch my back kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. No one's gonna openly admit to it, but like,
Right.
that shit happens.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ah,
if we were to have a financial crimes unit, that's that's where you start.
right?
Follow
Yeah.
the money. Isn't that what they
I
say in everything
Yep.
in all the movies?
I
Follow the
would
money.
totally investigate. I mean, that was one of the things that they were saying Trump did when he misappropriated his campaign funds. I mean, how many people have they said that about, though? How many other candidates or senators or whoever misappropriated funds? Well, okay, those are the ones that
All of
got
them.
caught. Yeah, just
Yeah.
like, not everyone
Fucking
got
all of
caught
them.
doing it. Some of them are still probably doing it.
Yeah, they're all skeevy.
Skeevy, I like that word.
Yeah, they're all skeevy. Trump's definitely skeevy. I don't care if it's a witch hunt. That guy's skeevy.
Yeah, yeah, something weird about that. I don't know. I mean,
He's
I
general of the skeevy armies.
I think though, like, you said it. Okay, Biden's like 80 some years old. Trump's 80 some years old. We got all these people in Congress that are like in their 80s and 90s that don't even remember who the hell they are. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we need to limit
True.
that shit. Like,
Yeah.
there's retirement
65.
ages. Yeah, there's voting ages. There's driving ages. Why can't we have, like? I'm not saying give them term limits, although that would probably be better. But like, give them an age limit. Be like, look, you can't sit on Congress till you're 116. Like, it just shit ain't gonna work.
Why don't they have term limits and the president does?
I honestly don't know. I'm not. I never really looked into it, but you bring up a good point. Probably because we all know who makes all the decisions anyway. I
Well, it's
mean,
not the president.
well, no, I mean that's it. Like, okay, 4 years, 8 years. That's not long enough to make any change. At least
Yeah,
any
there's no
noticeable
way
change.
he's gonna abolish the FBI in 8
No,
years.
no. I mean,
Like,
even
remember those email chains where they said don't buy gas on Monday? We couldn't even do that.
God, yeah, right.
Don't buy gas on Monday. Okay.
If you don't forward this to 6 people, you're gonna get your soul eaten at night.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my
we
God.
did. We were able to convince people that the guy from Nine Inch Nails, was it that? Oh no, Marilyn
9 Inch
Manson cut
Nails.
out his ribs so he could suck his own dick. That was
I remember that.
awesome.
Oh my God. Ah, better days.
Yep, the internet was a lot. It was the Wild West back then. I used to
Yeah.
get my computer.
You know what I
shopper.
found out? I didn't realize that there was a sketchy network, or a skeevy network, as you will. I was trying to watch my kid's volleyball game at college,
Okay.
One, there's no social media coverage, which annoyed me, but it's not a Big Ten D1 school or anything.
Right.
But if you Google her school and you say, you know, whatever they live stream, a whole bunch of links come up saying
Okay.
live stream and their YouTube accounts, and they have other videos of schools that it looks like it, but the link is super sketchy. They're totally fishing for money because it says
Ah.
to watch, click to register, and it says it only wants
Oh.
$1. So it gives you a credit card screen right away, and that's where I stopped. I'm like, no. And
Yeah,
then if you look at the
that's totally
names on all the
scamming.
accounts, the names are all like the first name's the same as the last name, and they're all different. I should have taken a
Yeah.
screenshot.
See, you're onto something, and it'd be great if I had the technical ability or know how to do it. But like, yeah, you've got your Big Ten that's televised and all that crap. That's great. Your NCAA, whatever, your college ball, all that crap. What about the low tier stuff? Like, what about yeah, your kid goes away to school, and you can't make it, but you want to see her volleyball game, or she's in
Right.
traveling league, and you got to work, you want to stream it. Like, you either got to rely on some you know parent with their phone out to open up YouTube and live stream it. But I like there's probably some legal thing like you can't do that without consent, or because like there could be young kids, there could be people who don't want to be on, like you go to like a sports complex, like by buying the
I don't
ticket.
think so, because all of her games before, Baller TV is always there.
Yeah,
I never
yeah,
signed anything.
that's true, that's true. I mean, I guess by like by
Oh, maybe I
nature
got
of
a case.
yeah, yeah, that's right. We could get part of a class action settlement against them for using your likeness without
Yeah,
your permission.
right.
I mean, because that's the thing. Like,
Oh,
if you go to like United Center, like when you buy the ticket to get in there, you're consenting to possibly be televised or recorded or whatever by whoever runs that. Whoever their media giant is that owns that. Whatever TV station or whoever. But like you go to, Joe Schmo Community College and watch the game, like who does that? Nobody. Where's that? Why is it like one extreme, but then the others don't even get a thought? Like you need a baller TV for everybody, like, or an app that makes it easy for people to like load it on your phone, live stream it, say here's my channel, and it like Twitch, but for sports. I mean, technically they could Twitch it, but like they got to load the app on their phone and broadcast and all that jazz.
yeah. I guess I was just surprised, but also not surprised,
Yeah.
and further saddened by our species because as I could see parents looking to watch their kid's game,
Yeah.
seeing it come up right away and being like, "Oh yeah, that's me." Click it. They put in their credit card, and
And
next thing you
then
know, they're
yep.
probably losing money. They're probably getting somebody's probably using it to buy
Yeah.
something,
Yeah, it's
and
scam.
that person will get it for free
Yeah.
because I don't think they chase them down, but the parent will call and say, "That's not mine. Cancel the card," and then that
Yep.
guy gets a computer or
Yeah.
whatever the hell he
Yeah.
wants.
Well, that's the same
Fucking
shit. Like, how many of these
like
things do?
like squatters.
Yeah, like if it's under a certain amount, they don't prosecute, right, because it's not considered a felony or misdemeanor if it's like under X amount. So these scammers just know, like,
Right.
oh, if it's below this amount, they're not going to hit me as hard. And most credit card companies probably just write it off. I don't know. I don't know how all that shit works.
Is there a service to report that?
What's that? Like you're
Like
talking about like those,
if I were to report one of those links, if there
like
was a
on
way for me to
YouTube.
report it,
Well, you can report the channel on YouTube and be like, hey, they've got, links like in their channel
oh,
description or something.
I might do that.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's just gonna come right back up.
so that's the thing. Like, I'll sit there at night and I'll watch YouTube shorts or actual YouTube videos, whatever comes up on my feed. And like a lot of shit that pops up, like depending on how it's promoted or how many views it gets, like it's you could clearly tell the content is directed at either like getting clicks and getting people to comment and like and possibly monetize, because it's like, you know, some scantily clad chick who's doing like the splits. And it's like, I report that shit because it's like there's an option when you report it, like, why are you reporting it? And I say sexual misconduct all the time because it's like clearly they're using that image to draw people in. And it's not appropriate because of what they're doing is just farming for clicks and links. Or some of them go as far as like in the video description, they'll say, oh, look, here, go to my OnlyFans. And like, who wants to do that? You know, like that's not right. Yeah,
Yeah,
see, that's weird.
so look, here's what I want to say. The top one, so there's like 9 of these. I just got 2 in a row here. So
Yeah.
the game isn't where that picture is. One, but look at the
Okay.
name. So see the first name, Yasje, Yasje,
Yeah,
and then look
yeah.
at the one below it, Riffle, Riffle,
Yeah, updated
and
yesterday.
then you click on that, and then it would say, and then it says to see it's not the actual link to the game. There's a link in the
The
description
description.
after you
Yeah.
click that. And then you click that and it takes you to a site that pops up and says you need to register. You click register and it asks you for your credit card right away.
So
And that's where I was like, no, that's not real.
I wonder if like if
Not cool,
those
bro.
those kind of things are like AI generated, because they could scrape, you know, you could write a bot and say go scrape the NJCAA, you know, schedule and make a YouTube page for each of these games, and then just
Right.
put a description and a link, and that's it. And it's all automated. And they could do that for every freaking sport, every college around the country.
I gotta tell Eric not to click. Don't click.
NJCAA. Let's see. So the National Junior College Athletic Association. So they got a .org website that's valid.
Oh yeah, their
They have
site's legit.
membership. Yeah. Sports. So you want to do your volleyball, men's and women's. Record book. Yeah, here, offensive leaders.
But here's what I'm saying. Wait, let me
Schedules.
see if I
Yeah,
can do
you could
this.
view the schedules. So they could
Yeah, I've
probably
done that.
scrape this right off their website.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Well, so the funny thing
Let me see if
is
I can share this with you.
on
So
the
this is
so okay, here, hold on a sec.
so if you click the link I just put in there, it takes you to a thing, and then it says like a YouTube channel. I don't know what the word is, but in the comment
Oh,
in the
it's
description it says watch live here,
yeah,
and if you follow that,
livesportthrills.com. So if I go to that livesportthrills.com,
it looks like a real website, but then it's going to say you need to register to watch the game.
Yeah, if I click the play button, Sports Today, yeah, watch live. You are not logged in. Yeah, that's a little skeevy to me.
It's
And
totally
the funny thing
skeevy.
is if you look at the site, it says it's HTTPS, but it's not secured. There's no
Right.
there's no certificate.
Yeah, it's sketch.
But like, so the funny thing is that link I sent you, the second one, like that's their streaming page.
Yeah, but they're only streaming big games.
Oh, they don't do all
Like
that.
they
Okay.
have their own version of big games. They're not at every. I looked.
Gotcha.
I've seen the internet. I don't know if you know me, but I've seen the internet.
Well, what's
Yeah.
what are they? Oh, like region 1, region 2. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all right. But it made me sad. Like even the other team's Facebook page, the other school's volleyball team has a Facebook page and it says match tonight. And the comments on that are all
Like
those
scams.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. That's probably a thing.
Fucking yes. Like we just I don't know. We don't.
I think
How
a
do
lot of it
people end
is.
up down a path of taking advantage of people versus something else?
Oh crap! Hold on a sec. Give me one
No,
sec. I'll be right back.
no, it's recording.
No, no, hold on. I'll be right back.
Fine. Maybe I should run for president.
All right, sorry. The wife and the family came home.
President. Oh, what the hell is that all about? Send them
They
away.
so
Oh.
the grandson had a like a carnival at the school tonight because it's the first week back or whatever.
Hmm.
I'm like, what? You get
President Swami Wami? What's his name?
Rama Swami
President
Vikram
Ramaswamy?
Vivek
Ladies and gentlemen,
Vivek Ramaswamy.
President. Yeah, but they're not going to say President Vivek.
President
say President
Ramaswamy.
Swami.
Yeah,
Swami.
President Rama.
I don't know. Ramen,
So
ramen noodles.
Rama not going to work here anymore. But is that like yeah? What you're right. So he's got to be a natural citizen, right? But he's got to be a natural citizen. I'm sure that's going to come up.
He's one generation. Yeah, he is. He was born here.
Okay, but I mean, sure, someone's going to be like, oh, he's not. Obama wasn't.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Somebody's going to say that crap. Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even look at who all the other candidates are. I mean, I know it's
still kind of early.
Yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of them are going to drop out. It's going to be down to only a couple. The people who can afford to do all the crap.
Who can afford to do all the crap?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, after a while, like, their money runs out. Like, what are they going to do? They can't put out the stupid smear campaigns anymore.
Oh, there's only 3 Democratic candidates. Your boy Joe Biden, RFK Jr.
Yeah,
RFK a nutcase, or am I thinking of somebody else?
RFK. What is Vikram? What is he?
There are 400 Republican candidates.
Oh my God! And only 3 Democrats.
8, 12. There's 15 Republican candidates. And 3 Democrats.
Why the hell are there so many?
Why not? Who was the guy?
Biden, Williamson, and Kennedy. Who are these people? Who's Williamson? Who's Haley?
He's this.
What is this third party? West? Colonel West. Progressive activist, 72 years old. He's running with the People's Party. Well, that's what Bernie Sanders. Champion? Yeah. Oh no, now he's going to seek the Green Party. Who the hell's the Green Party? When did we get a Green Party?
Parties.
Yeah, what?
Oh.
Like, who are these? I'll be honest, like, I don't know any of these female candidates. Williamson and Haley? Isn't Clinton going to run, or is she not announced yet?
I think her loss to Trump broke her.
Marianne Williamson, self-help
she's like,
author.
This is bullshit.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. She's a self-help author and former spiritual advisor to Oprah Winfrey.
How do you not vote for that?
It sounds like she wants to make a federal Department of Peace.
Oh, finally.
Reparations for slavery.
I agree with that.
Trumpism is a symptom of illness in the American psyche that could not be cured with political policies. Oh my god. I don't know.
Who's this? This is Marianne Williamson?
Yeah, I don't 72 years old on
The
inauguration day.
2020.
Joe, see that's yeah,
Oh, I
72.
see.
Kennedy's 71. He's an anti-vaxxer. They'll never let him get in. Haley. Who's this Nikki Haley? She's 53. Okay. Governor of South Carolina, United Nations ambassador. Okay.
Isn't she? I don't know.
Yeah, she ran United Nations under Trump. Who's this one? Ramaswamy. He's
We need.
39? Holy cow.
Yeah, I know. He was born. He didn't see the Bears win the Super Bowl.
Oh my
That's
god,
how young
dude.
he is.
So you got Ryan Binkley, he's 57, Tim Scott's 59. Ron DeSantis is only 46. Pence is 69. Nice. Chris Christie's running?
I feel like he's running every election for the last
What
20 years.
wasn't he the guy in New Jersey that like got in trouble for shutting down the bridge or whatever when it snowed and like people got stuck or whatever the hell it was? And then he's like, sorry.
Montana Secretary of State.
Francis Suarez is 47. He's a mayor of Miami.
Yeah, can we not allow anyone from Florida to run?
Texas, William Hurd. Oh, that's yeah. See, he's a former CIA guy.
Financial. That's a really good quote, but I don't know how you're gonna do it.
Ozza Hutchinson. Yeah, Vivek's like the youngest, man. So what is he? It just says he's an entrepreneur and author. Like, has he done anything in politics?
Or Corey Stapleton, because he has the least amount of money.
Corey Stapleton?
Yeah.
See, I don't even see that guy on the list. Huh.
Maybe he already left. His slogan is "Pay it forward." We're gonna free the hell out of everyone.
Who was the other guy that wanted to do that with the universal basic income? He ran when for 20, what was it?
Is that 60? Bernie?
No, it was the other guy.
Feel the burn. Oh. No idea who you're talking about. But I believe you.
I'm looking. Andrew Yang.
I have no idea who that is. Didn't he create YouTube?
Oh, that's funny. So that was Andrew Yang championed putting money in the pockets of every American adult during his presidential campaign.
Oh, I mean, they did it for Ukraine.
Right?
Yeah, I just put some of that money in my pocket instead of taking it out.
Yeah, dude, I went to go fill up the car with gas and it was like almost $5 a gallon. I was like, what the hell?
What?
Yeah,
it's like it's lower here. It's 409 by me.
I think it was like 460 or something for the mid-grade stuff. Like I think the premium, which I don't even use, was like above $5 a gallon.
You're using 88? Octane 88 or 89?
Yeah, because I think it's like 87, 89, and like 93.
Why are you using 89?
I've always used 89.
You've always used 89?
Yeah, I know. I mean, wow. Well, no. In the Ford, I use 87. But I mean,
I've never used anything but 87.
Like, I don't get how people like. There's some cars that like some of the sports cars they require, like they say they require 93 octane or premium grade. Like, who the hell? Like, I mean, I guess if you could afford one of those cars, you could probably afford the gas. I tend to agree with you though. I don't think it's I think it's worth it. It's all a big scam. They just want your money.
Oh, well, that's true. Well, that's the problem. That's the thing we're built to want.
Money?
Not,
Yeah.
yeah, it
I
needs to be something else.
I mean, but like it's okay to say like, hey, I think money's great, but like if your presidential campaign is like this Andrew Yang guy when he ran, he wanted universal basic income. So he's basically saying every adult would get X amount a month on UBI. And like some of these, was it California they tried that or they did a trial? And weren't they talking about doing that in Chicago too? Like, I mean, it sounds good, but where's the money coming from? Like,
Well, and how do you motivate people to be productive in society?
yeah,
You know, to God, what the hell is it? What's the word I'm trying to say?
contribute.
Thank you. God, where were you? Like a minute ago. To contribute to the greater good of the community.
Yeah.
Like if you're just getting money and you have enough for an apartment and food and internet, like there are kids nowadays don't care.
Well, I honestly think coronavirus, the pandemic, did that to a lot of people because when they were doing the unemployment and they shored up the benefits, like there was a point where when my wife wasn't working, she was making more on unemployment than she
Yeah,
did from actually working. And like
yeah,
she felt bad about it because she's like, I want to go back to work. This is stupid sitting at home and just like, but there's people who are like, oh, this is so awesome. I don't want to go back to
right,
work. And
right.
we're seeing that now, but it's like that gravy train has stopped. They're not shoring up the unemployment anymore. So what the hell? How are these people affording to live when you've got an 8% increase, at least in the last year, in inflation? Like, and then God knows how much the last 2 years and how much it's going to be going forward. Like, where are these people getting money to pay their rent, their mortgage, their whatever?
They're stealing the carburetors out of cars or whatever.
Oh yeah, the catalytic converters. Yeah, that's right.
Catalytic converter.
Or
That's
they're
how they're making
skimming
it.
our credit cards at the gas pump.
Yeah, they're skimming credit card. They're looking for parents trying to watch their kids on YouTube.
Yes, yes.
It's all just a bunch of we're a nation of con artists.
You're right.
We're total. That's what the lawyers are about. Redefining things until people see it their way. It's just con artists.
Yeah, yeah. The whole legalese thing and defining the law, like really, I think like there's guys or girls, whoever, people that go out there and do that, and like they bend it to fit their own agenda, and
Right,
and they
but
get away with it, which is the
yeah,
scary part.
yeah. I mean, the universal basic income, I think, is I I don't know. It could work, but I don't. It's kind of like I'm thinking, how do we get rid of money and still have people contribute to the like through a job or through something,
Well, I
and
think
also incentivize creativity and
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like built like that ingenuity.
Well,
Like,
I
why would
think
someone do something if they're
that's
not going to get something they think is worth it back?
there's people that say that all the time. Like you ask anybody about it, like think of all of the advancement and all of the technology and all of the medicinal and all the stuff that we're missing out on because some kid, his parents can't afford to send him to get a better education or can't afford to get him to that class that, strengthens his artistic ability or his, mathematical skill. Like, how many people for every, like, genius that founded Microsoft or Apple or whatever, like, how many others don't get that chance because they're not funded, or
Afford it.
they're not pushed because they don't have the money to do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, they don't have money for the kids don't have money for or the parents don't have money for like club
Yeah.
sports or high school sports.
Like,
So they're
I
not in
think
sports,
about
so they get in trouble.
I think about all the people that, like, they get jobs, they get corporate jobs, they get jobs that they don't like, they hate being in them, but they don't have a way out because, like, if I want to go get another job, like, let's say I didn't like IT, I didn't like InfoSec, and I said, oh crap, I've been doing this for 30 years, I want out. Well, if I want to start somewhere else, especially in another, alignment that's not IT or computer related. Let's say I want to go be a plumber. I got to start at the bottom. I'm not going to make the salary I make now. And I can't survive on that. I can't support my family. I can't pay the bills if I got to start over at, $20 an hour, apprentice wage. And I think
Right.
something like a universal basic income can help with that, because it gives those people who are stuck in those dead end jobs that maybe, like, don't want to do it, but they got the job because they got bills to pay, it'll help them find what they like to do and are passionate about. And I think that promotes your things like your artists, your musicians, your thinkers, and everybody who wants to do, write books or make a movie. Like, they could do that with that basic income, because then they don't have the fear of, well, crap, how am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to feed my kids? I
Yeah, I think it's right.
The problem is like you said, where does the money come from?
it's a
Because
vicious cycle.
if you're getting the money and you're spending the money at a job, like, you got to go buy groceries, you're taxed, you're all that stuff. Like, that's not enough to give everybody X amount a year to, like, you're basically talking about. I mean, what they should do is, instead of calling universal basic income, just say we're giving every American a salary of X amount a year, and then you could do whatever you want on top of that. But, what happens to things like Social Security? Does that go away? Do businesses
Well,
not offer pensions anymore because it's like, oh, you're getting an extra 100 grand from the government a year, save that, and that'll be your retirement. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it's easy to work it out and plan it out on a small scale. I don't think you could plan it for, like, a country of 300 million people.
anything on a large scale. But
What's
a lot of that money is, I mean, how much of that money is overseas?
Well, yeah, how much of that 100 billion did we really need to send to Ukraine when we could have shored up people here?
Yeah, or fixed infrastructure or whatever. I don't know. Something. Yeah, I don't know. We just need a creative person with a good heart to lead the country and rule with an iron fist. I don't know.
Yes. So if you said you took $1 billion and you divided that by 100,000 and gave everybody 100,000 that you could give 10,000 people $100,000 with that $1 billion. So, like,
Yeah.
you know, 300 million people in the country, what would it cost you to give everybody 100 grand, or whatever you want for universal basic income? And that's I think the larger picture that they look at. And what they do is they look at it and go, oh, we're going to give it to the people on the south side of Chicago because they need it more. Maybe they do, but why is that fair? Why is it fair to them? Like, not me or you. We still got bills
Well,
to pay.
but it's so much deeper than just giving people money. I mean, they don't even have the infrastructure. They probably don't even know what's out there
Yeah, a
how
lot
to
of those
use
people
the
have never.
money
Yeah, a
in the
lot of those
best,
people have
how to
never
use the money
left
in the
it.
best way. They
Yeah,
only know what they know.
they only know their block and they know the little corner store or whatever. They don't know anything outside of that, neighborhood in the city because they don't get out. They can't get out.
Yeah.
They're held there for whatever reason, you know. And I mean, I think you're right. It's like if you say fine, give them the money, and then let's give them programs to say, oh, you want to try art, you want to try sculpting, you want to try writing music, you want to play instruments, you want to learn a trade. Let's do that too, because the guy that works at the grocery store for $8 or $12 an hour, let's say, now he can afford to say, I want to go take a electrician. I want to be an electrician. I've always had an interest. I want to do it. Let him do it. Let him try it because you don't know. He may make the next battery that runs your electric car. I don't know.
Doesn't poison the environment.
I think that's good. That's good stuff. But everybody talks about like, oh, give them UBI, but they don't talk about like you said, how to help them use that or spend it.
Yeah, I think that's a challenge because then you're on, well, like it's theirs. They should be able to spend it how they want. You know what I mean?
Well, you can, and
Like how do you,
I'm
because I'm sure
okay
they
with
have
that.
money not like they have money now.
Right, and I'm okay with that. But it's like if you say, look, you want to do this, you say, oh, I want to get out of this dead end job bagging groceries at Jewel. I want to learn, programming. I want to write, now a website that does XYZ. I want to be able to stream my kids' school basketball games. I'm going to design that website. I'm going to make a business. I'm going to do it. If you have an extra 100 grand a year that you could help that, to learn that, and I could say, hey, we're going to teach you programming classes. You don't have to pay for them, but as part of the universal basic income plan, if you say we're also going to educate people, we'll do this or go here and give you the resources to do it. Here's internet, here's a computer, go to YouTube and watch all these videos. And it's like maybe a lot of people are going to abuse that. Yeah, maybe a lot of people are just going to take advantage of that. Yeah, but I think the ones that actively want to do something and better themselves, that's the ones that benefit from it. But you got to be fair and give it to everybody. You can't just pick and choose. And that's what they're doing now when they say like, oh, we'll give it to 1,000 people in California. Well, what the hell good does that do the other 1.5 million people that live out there or whatever it is? I mean, come on.
Yeah, fair is a thing. But like who bags groceries then anymore?
Well, yeah, and that's the problem. If things
So,
keep going the way they're going, though, it's not nobody's going to bag groceries because you're doing self checkout anyway. Every time I go to the store,
well,
there's never anybody there.
and what about hmm, I'm just thinking of how to get people off on the right foot. Like like what if we had free higher education?
Uh,
Um
yes,
and
yes.
then you invest in that person like every college kid leaves college and they get 50 grand, but only once. Now they have a year to invest that somehow to, you know what I mean? To,
Well, the problem is are they going to know what to do with it, or is every kid going to run out and?
well, that's got to be part of the higher education program is that you have to take this class. You have to take we got to try.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think a lot of kids like my daughter when she graduated high school, like she said like some of her teachers were like her finance or math teacher, like they taught people how to invest and save, and they learned about compound interest and like, hey, if you put in $100 a year for the next 50 years, you could have $2 million with compound interest, blah blah blah, whatever they figure it out. And kids are realize like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. Now
Yeah.
$2 million may be nothing by the time she's 65, but like there's a lot of people who just don't learn that in school. They don't learn how to save. They don't learn about
Well,
investing. They don't learn about
yeah.
retirement and planning for the future, because what they're concerned about is right now. And this kid graduates college and says, "Okay, we put you through education. Here's 50 grand. Go start your life." Like, how many of those kids are going to go out and buy a car or buy a TV or blow it and have nothing to show for it?
Well, so you could need a car to get to a job.
I get that. Okay, I'll give you that.
So how about it's a some sort of like a card that has that it can only be used for certain purchases,
Yeah, yeah, I guess you could do
right?
that.
Like a car is like one car. You can buy one car, right? You blow
A
it all
car.
on a Porsche, right? You're done. The money's
Yeah.
gone. You have a Porsche, and now what? Now you have a fancy Porsche, and you can get to your job bagging groceries, right?
and that's your
Or
life. Yeah.
smart kids do something, right? They have a job on the side.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they have a main job, and in the meanwhile, they're using that money somehow to build themselves up,
Yeah, that makes sense. That's that. Yeah.
right? A one-time investment in a person. Like, what can you do with it?
The only problem is, I think, again, where's that money going to come from? Like,
Well,
how are you going to pay that teacher to go to the very higher education to teach these kids? Because
don't we
like,
have a printing press that doesn't stop printing?
right, yeah, I mean,
It
but
just
then
goes.
that just devalues our money to nothing for anybody else in the world.
Never has ink problems. It's
Yeah.
always
Yeah, I
running.
don't get that. Like that's clearly they're not using an HP printer where you have to replace the
Yeah,
damn color cartridge every
yeah.
fucking month, and you got to replace them all at the
Oh
same
man,
time.
yeah. No, I don't know. I just I don't know. I just the thought of going to a 4-year school and and graduating and having enormous debt,
Yeah,
that like
that's yeah.
that's that's motivation through fear.
Well, that's a real thing, and I mean, like I mean, shit, I'm going through it now. My daughter, she's second year she started, and it's like you go apply for the loan, and they're just like, okay, here. It's like they make it so easy to
Yeah,
say, here's a loan for 40 grand a semester over the next 4 years. That's 120 grand, right? I could get that. Anybody could get that loan because you don't start paying it. It's deferred until the end of your actual education,
yeah,
6 months after you graduate and
right.
stop going to school. That's easier for me to get that loan for my daughter and help her get her college education than it is for me to go out and get a freaking car loan without like worrying about a $500 a month car payment, or how I'm gonna convince the bank that my salary is enough to get the loan. Like, I mean, they make it so easy for people to go get that education and get into debt that, yeah, when they come out, unless they're doing something where they get lucky to get a crazy high paying job, like she's gonna pay that off for like what, the next 20 years of her life or more. I mean, it's nuts. Like, I get why she wants to go into law and like politics and all that stuff. I get why lawyers are so expensive now, because like if you're in school for 8 years or more, like that's
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt.
Well, same with doctors, right? They're in
Yeah,
school
yeah,
forever. It's for
yeah,
a good cause, but then they have to make an insane amount to
right,
pay that off.
yeah. And it's like, even if you make that much money, like a lot of them, they're smart. There are smart ones that maybe like okay, fine, I'm a doctor. I'm going to live modestly, maybe live with my parents, pay it off, whatever, as much as I can with as much money as I possibly make. And then I start my life and my career debt free. But not everyone gets that. It doesn't
Yeah,
happen like that.
and there's also to consider like hazards of the job and the risk,
I
right? Like
get it. Yeah.
they're in
Yeah.
some shit, right? So
Right.
they that's how like the reward system, the incentivize, right? Like doctors are living in, have awesome cars and live in amazing houses. Same with
Right.
lawyers, but they also deal not so much lawyers are skeevy, but
Yeah.
doctors, true doctors deserve that.
I agree. I mean, it's like if you're doing something like that, but I mean, you could also argue that, like, okay, a teacher deserves that because look at what they got to deal with, all the kids or students and what they have to
Yeah,
do. They're modeling those children to be
yeah,
smart and learn. Like, maybe they deserve a 7-figure salary. I don't know. I
I
mean,
I agree.
I really think
Yeah,
teachers are severely underpaid, but it's like
yeah,
I look at like we take the grandson to school. He's in third grade, fourth grade now, right? So they're like, oh, here's a list of everything you got to bring to school. Paper, crayons, all this. Like, they don't provide any of that stuff anymore.
yeah.
Dang it.
And if you look at those lists, they don't use all that, right? They're accumulating it for kids who don't have their own
Well, that's the yeah.
supplies.
It's like shared in the whole classroom.
Yeah, it's socialist. Eric won't like that.
It's our crayons. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back. Oh my God. There we go. Sorry.
A sickle and a crayon.
A sickle and a
Socialist.
crayon. Yes. These are our crayons and our glue sticks, not yours. Yeah, I mean that was the thing. Like he got a list, like bring a couple packs of crayons, bring Kleenex box. It's like, glue sticks, whatever, and it's like it just goes into the communal thing for the classroom. Like I mean, to me that's better than like the teachers who complain that like, oh, they got to buy all the supplies. Like that's not right either. And like I got no problem doing it because it's like it helps out, you know, your kids and other kids fine. I know it's going to a good cause and it's going to get used in the classroom. If I donate my money to somewhere and you're telling me it's going to Ukraine, like I don't know where the hell it's going. You're taxing me. I got no proof that it's going to make it to some guy over there who needs to, who fled his house because it got bombed and he's got to find a place to live. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the same problem with your taxes. Like you don't know where that money's really going.
Yeah, like I can go to the
It's
city
just
and
on a
say,
smaller scale.
oh yeah, I mean like your city, your village, like my village says, oh, you could view our tax, our annual whatever cost breakdown. And like the
Oh,
same
really?
thing, yeah, like the same thing even with the teachers. Like we've looked it up. You can look up your teacher salary because they're public education, you're paying their salary. So like you could see how much the teachers make and where that money goes, and then the school has a responsibility to say, we spent X amount on, repainting the gym wall or whatever, or fixing our air conditioning. Like they have to break that down for you because that's your money. You're entitled to it. But like the village, they're just like, oh, $10 million off road repair. Like I got potholes all over my fucking roads. Like, what have you repaired? Like, where'd that 10
Yeah,
million
but
go?
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's the same
But
shit
like,
though
how do
with
you?
the politicians and everything too. How do you validate that? Who checks them
Right.
to make sure that's
Yeah,
where it
we have this
goes?
accountability word, and it's just not. No one's accounting.
Well, they
No
throw it
one's
all.
accounting.
They throw it out there because oh, I want accountability. I want accountability for where that money's going in Ukraine. This Vivek Ramaswamy says that. Well, that's great, but as soon as he's in office, who's going to hold him accountable for where all the money he spends goes?
Yeah,
The next guy in
I
line's not going to want to show his
I
wallet and where his money's being
I
spent.
Yeah, and I think if you're gonna be president, we should see their financials, right?
I honestly
That should be an
think,
open book.
yeah, that should be an open book. And also, like, there is, I thought there was a thing because I thought Obama had to do this. Like, you basically have to leave any companies that you have that could potentially do work for like government entities and stuff like that, because you're not
Mm.
supposed to have any tie to that. But like, you look at, you know, oh, Biden's son has, you know, contracting companies that he works for, he owns, or he's
Yeah,
invested
but
in.
he's not Joe Biden.
But
Like your
he's
family
his,
can still work it,
yeah,
right?
but
Are you
he's,
saying
but
that no one in the family
I'll be honest with you,
can
because
work?
how do I know that, like, I'm not saying that, but then it should be like, okay, any business that your family member has ties with cannot be used by like a government. Like, oh, you've got a construction company as Joe Biden's son, and Joe Biden says, I want to, you know, redo the garage on the White House. Oh, fuck it is, and he says, well, okay, fine, I can't hire that company to do it because my son's got ties to it, and that's, you know, that's inappropriate. Like, to me,
White
that's
House
the kind of
have a
shit that,
garage?
I don't know. Just, I'm saying, like, maybe he wants to build one. I don't know. The guy's like 89 years old. He probably doesn't know what the hell he's going to do tomorrow morning when he wakes up. But, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, I think like stuff like that and that sort of accountability needs to be held to a standard. And that's where we need some oversight committee to say, oh, they're putting in a request to do this. Now we got to look at the background of all the employees and make sure nobody who works for this company that could possibly get kickbacks from this or benefit from us choosing this company. And that's actually like, so there's this whole program that we used to use with the last company I worked for, the NSA. NSA?
The NSA.
No, it's oh
You
god,
got their attention now.
no, yeah, right. No, it's some, there's an acronym because it's like a purchasing
NASA?
program. No, it's a purchasing program that like you go to, and if you're going to do work or sell stuff to the government, you put in your bids and your contracts. And what they're supposed to do is they go in, they can review them unbiased by not seeing names of the companies and say, "Oh, we like this one better." And usually it's the cheapest one, and that's the one they pick. And then only after they've done that and everything's been signed and, you know, authorized, then they know who the hell's doing the work. Half the time they probably don't even care, but you know, it's like
But
it takes out that potential that like, oh, I'm gonna pick Joe Biden's son's company because, you know, he's the president and I really like him and I think his son should get the money for this. Like, it takes all that shit off the table at that point.
yeah, but like, it's the whole money thing. Like you said exactly what every single person and company does. They
Yep.
usually go for the cheapest thing. Like the guy
Yep.
who built a submarine that got crumpled.
Yes.
Shortcuts,
Yes. Yep.
shortcuts,
Yep.
and saving money instead of, I don't know,
Safety. Yeah.
or valuing people or like
What
how
I
do
don't get
we
is where's that accountability? Like, where's the oversight committee that looks at that guy that, you know, does that mean you or I could get funding and build a sub in our
yeah.
garage and charge people
Well,
200 grand?
it's the same thing with the scammers on YouTube or the
Yeah.
guys who drive around after a hailstorm and don't
Yep.
really know what they're doing.
Yes. Yes. Oh, hey, you want a
Like,
free roof?
yeah, we'll work with your insurance, right? I don't know.
Everybody's out to make that buck.
We need to eliminate to steer people away from being con artists.
Yeah, I think
Like,
it's
how do
too
we?
easy to get that way, get sucked in.
Yeah, right.
It is. It's
I think
hard.
I don't think kids should have cell phones until they're.
Able to afford them.
Yeah, there we go. That's a win on their own.
Well, so that was the other thing.
What if the parents can afford it?
Ramaswamy wants to up the voting age. So what is it now? It's like 18. Like, I don't know what he
What
wants
do you
to
want
up
to make
it.
it?
I don't know, but I mean, like, I guess I don't see the benefit of that
Can we make it
unless
so high that he can't vote?
Yeah, he's only 39, right? I mean, what the hell?
42 is the voting age.
Damn it! You can be president, you can go to war and die for your country, but you can't vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like I can't. The only reason I could see behind something like that is because it hasn't like historically the last like two elections like the younger generation like first time voters just don't vote, like they're not getting out and voting. I mean, historically I think it's always been that way.
Well, but that goes, there's a younger generation. They think they're invincible. They don't care, right?
Well,
So,
but that
like
you
this
just
whole
said it
thing about
though.
giving them money, they're
Yeah.
not going to spend it wisely. They don't
No.
care. They're not voting because they don't care,
Well, but
right? They're just
there's
out to have a good time.
there's no ramification for that. Oh, you got 50 grand after you went to free college. You go blow it on your Porsche. So what? I still live with my parents. You know, I still live in their basement. I still live in their bedroom, but now I got a Porsche.
Yeah. So I don't know what the number is, but something to help them live on their own, right? Not with their parents,
Yeah.
right? But that's hard too because all the corporations are buying up all the real estate and they're all becoming rental properties.
But so like what I don't get is like when you and I were in school, like high school, like
Oh, the good old days.
we knew how much it costs to buy, you know, a lunch from the school or buy candy or whatever. And like you were like your parents would give you money and it was like that's all you had for the week, and if you blew it all you're done. That's it.
Yeah.
Like my wife tells me that like, you know, she's get kids that come in and they're like they don't care because now they got the stupid ID and the parents just put money on their account and they
Right.
could just swipe it, and they're buying food for like their friends, like, oh, give me a piece of pizza,
Yeah.
give me a candy bar, and the kid just, you know, swipes it. And she's like, kids will come in and like they don't know the value of money, or they don't even know how to count money.
Or
Like,
trading food for drugs like benzos.
yes, that too, but like she's like, kids will come in and they'll be like, you know, oh, it's a $4 slice of pizza. Guy will give him 20 and like stand there like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, well, you get change back, like here's your $16. Like they don't even care because it's not theirs. It was just given them to them by mom and dad. They just figure I'll get more when it's gone, you know,
Uh,
whatever. I think a lot of it is just they're enabled, you know, by a lot of these parents because
totally.
they just, you know, here's $20, get out of my way, you know, get out of my hair. But the same shit. That's probably why they don't vote, because they don't care, or they hear what their parents say. Maybe their parents don't vote. You know?
Well, they're just everybody's glued to their phones.
Yeah,
That's what they care about. What's on their phones,
yeah.
whether
If we could
TikTok
put,
or Instagram
yeah, God, you know, if we could
or
put,
YouTubers.
if we could get those debates on like shorts on TikTok or YouTube or a Facebook
Shorts.
reel, dude, we'd probably get tons of people watching that shit and be like, how many of these kids
You
would
get
be
a lot
involved
more
in politics?
interest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you know, if you made them like a Mr. Beast video where you put the words that pop up on the, you know, the
Yeah.
subtitles and the captions, like
Or that stupid person. Well, she's not stupid, right? People are spending money to throw fake food at her.
what?
You sent that link, right?
Oh yeah, where she reacts to the emojis or whatever that
Yeah.
pop up and she pretends she's eating them. Yes,
Those
yes.
people are totally being taken advantage of.
And the, you know, and I gotta, so to me though, like, so there's a whole thing like in the streamer community where you've got like people that want to stream games, they want to stream, they just want to hang out with their buddies and do whatever, and maybe they get big and they make a following and whatever, and they make money off of it. That's great. Then you got people that are like, I'm gonna make a ton of money doing this, I'm gonna get sponsorships, and like they could be complete shitheads and suck at the game, but they're good salespeople and they hawk a product or whatever, and everyone loves them for it. And then you've got the mostly females that take advantage of the fact that, you know, oh, I'm wearing a bathing suit, I'm sitting in a blow up pool, and I'm writing people's names on a whiteboard with a marker for every time they donate money. Like they know what they're doing by doing that, and like I got to give them credit because Like they clearly know who their target audience is. They know why they're doing that. It's not like people are forcing them to do it. They're willingly going out there and doing this and making money doing it. Like,
Kind of a
great.
weird dynamic because
It is because it's like
you
there's people
remember
that like I
when
look
we
at
were
that
in
and
high school?
that's like I mean it's borderline like like these chicks that go on like OnlyFans or put out like porn shit on YouTube or try and get people to buy their feet pictures or whatever the hell they do. It's like they clearly know what they're doing and they're doing it because they know they can make money and lots of it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like
that's the same as like how do you govern people after you give them a bunch of money, right?
well, that's the thing is like I think some of these like there was a big influx of all that streaming crap, and that's why like OnlyFans took off the way it did because of the pandemic and everyone being home. And like the sad thing was like they said a lot of like sex workers went to OnlyFans because it was safer for them. They don't have to be with
Yeah.
anybody. They're not worried about getting mugged or killed or robbed or whatever. And they're just putting it out there and people are throwing money at them left and right. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it,
Well,
good for you, but
yeah.
I think it's the
Yeah,
wrong picture when you've got, kids that like, the grandson, like, I want to be a streamer. Like, there's kids that look up to people like that. And it's like,
yeah.
they don't understand that it's like, it's a lot harder to get into that, especially now. But like, there is a bad side to it too, where like, yeah, you take advantage of by people or sponsors or whatever, just like any other kind of actor or
Well,
environment.
it's the ads are built to get people to click things.
Oh, look at all the stupid
And then you
mobile
go down
game
a
ads
rabbit
where
hole.
you see like an anime chick with her boobs hanging out, and they're like, "Oh, save the princess," and like click here to play this game. It's like,
Yeah.
you know who
It's
their target audience is. It's like
yeah, it's the same
teenage
thing as
boys.
cigarettes. Right. It's the same thing as
Yeah.
cigarettes in the 80s and the
Yes.
70s, right?
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Well, but
Um,
that was also like,
didn't
I mean, the cigarette
Mark
companies were like they paid people to say that smoking wasn't bad for you. They basically said it wouldn't harm you, which is a flat out lie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right back to money is more important than people,
Yes.
right?
And that's
That's what we need to change. And I don't like if we get rid of money, how do we incentivize people to
the problem is
contribute?
that
The
that'll
big C
never
word you use.
happen because the people at the top that make the most money, and I'm not even just talking like the one percenters, maybe these people make a high six-figure salary, 500-600 grand a year. That's a lot of money. Like those people don't want to give that up. So if you say, "Oh, there's no
Well,
money," or money doesn't mean anything, they're going to be like, "Well, what the hell? Why do I have hundreds of millions of dollars in my bank account if it doesn't mean anything
well,
anymore?"
they don't really do anything anyway. Like, what do? Right?
Well, I get it. Like this guy,
I think we build a concrete dome around their house while they're inside and call it a day.
just dome them in with their money. There, you
Yeah,
want your money
just
so much,
dome.
you can have
There
your
you
money.
go. Enjoy.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, we'll
Well,
put
but
some
I
air
mean,
holes.
like look at this guy, Vivek Ramaswamy. He's an entrepreneur. Well, so he's made some smart investments and made money off of it. Like, what else has he done? He wrote a book. He's got no politics background, and maybe he's a good guy to be president. I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked up
But
all these candidates, but like,
how
what
I would be interested in that.
differentiates him from you or me is the fact that he's probably got more money than you or me, and he's made some
I'm
smart investments, or he's gotten lucky playing, the 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 investment game or something. I don't know. Maybe he comes from money. I don't know.
well, right. I'm interested in that path, right? So
Yeah.
if that book's at the library, I'll probably pick it up next.
What book did he write? I want to see
But
what book you.
well, it's called Woke Inc. I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That. You're right. That is the book, like the anti woke thing or whatever.
But I'm
Yeah, Woke Inc. Okay.
I'm just the whole cell phone. God, I hate cell phone. I hate them. I'm using a cell phone right now, but I hate them.
Wait a minute. So
I
when
think
did he
that,
write this book? Was this like the last like 3 years?
and did he write it? I would challenge anyone who's of a CEO or on a board, like that level of person. I would challenge what they do in a day.
So he founded the pharmaceutical company in 2014.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that
I think
was
he had a real job, I think, from 2007 to 2014.
so okay. So the guy,
A real job.
well, he was in Yale Law School 2013,
Harvard, I thought.
Harvard 2007, and St. Xavier High School in 2003. So I mean, the guy's young. So at 39
And
years
those are
old,
not cheap schools.
no,
So I think he had money, right?
he
This is
he had
what
to
we're
have
talking
come from
about.
money.
You start them out with some money and they can go places. It just needs
Well,
to be
that's
managed when they're younger.
yeah, that's the whole thing. Like maybe this guy's great, and he had the benefit of either coming from money or being able to afford to go to Harvard and Yale and all this stuff. But like, who are we potentially missing? Who's the next Nikola Tesla? Who's the next Albert Einstein that's not able to get that education because they can't afford it? Like that's what, like, nobody focuses on those people that want to do that but
Wait,
can't.
I thought Eric was in Florida.
I thought so, right?
He says he's in Central Time. What Florida is he in? No,
Oh,
it's
you know
not
what?
Central.
No, you know what? He's on the Panhandle, like near like Louisiana side. More toward that might still be central.
That's far from Florida.
Yeah, but it wraps around the top of the Gulf there.
Doesn't.
Yeah. Where the hell did I say it was? Hold on.
Are you sure he went to the right Florida?
What other yeah, the Florida Panhandle by Gulf Shores, Panama City, north. Yeah, it was bordered by Alabama and what the hell, Florida Panhandle.
Okay, I believe you. I don't think of Central Time.
Oh yeah, Central
Like,
Time. Florida Panhandle is Central Time.
what? I can't believe that.
So the Eastern Time Zone. Yeah,
Florida.
Franklin,
Peninsula.
Liberty, Suwannee, Lafayette. Yeah. Florida
That's Central?
Panhandles. Yeah, Florida Panhandle's got a weird time zone.
Oh no, that's jacked
Wow.
up. That is not right.
Yeah,
Oh my
Pensacola.
God.
Yep, there you go. I just put a picture in there.
This is what President Ramaswamy needs to fix.
Yep. Ramaswamy
That's not right at
2024.
all.
Fix the panhandle. Hashtag fix the panhandle.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking about something important. I derailed us.
giving kids money.
I apologize. I apologize.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I think
hilarious.
maybe we need to start off everybody on an even foot.
Reset them all to zero. Great
Yeah.
reset's coming.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a leader of it. You're a leader of its peoples.
Does that mean I need some subconscious I talk to?
Yeah, and you need to write a book about being woke or anti-woke or
Being
whatever
woke.
the hell it is. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
need
what
to
is that
check out
book about? Woking?
That's the name of the book, yeah.
Let's see what it's about. Inside Corporate America's Social Justice Scam.
Oh, I wanted to talk. The whole cell phones and
Oh
the
yeah.
internet,
Yep.
kids going down that rabbit hole. I just watched the thing about the guy who was doing the serial swatter
Oh yeah, for the
on
the
Netflix.
streamers.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
He
He'd
has
basically call them.
zero social or skills that can contribute to society because he was just in Halo all the time and Twitter.
Yep. Yeah, there's that. So that's a big thing, and I didn't realize, like, when like so during the pandemic when I was like streaming for a little bit, like people like other streamers, like big streamers, like I don't know if it's just because of when they get bigger, they get like targeted, you know, because people obviously don't like them or don't like that they're making money or better than them in a game or something. And that's the thing. A lot of these guys that do that swatting, like they're playing a game like Call of Duty, and you get your ass handed to the guy, and you go, "Oh, he's a big name streamer." I know where he lives because most of these streamers, it's like, oh, you know, they live in this area, Dallas or whatever. So you know the guy's real name. You just call 911 and go, yeah, he's threatening to kill people. He's got somebody at gunpoint, and they get swatted. They basically send a SWAT team to the person's house.
Well, they have to. They can't not
Yeah.
take it seriously.
And there's a lot, like if you look on YouTube, there's a lot of clips of like some big streamers, like just in the middle of a stream, and then
yeah,
you know, fucking cops just come busting into their room,
Yeah.
guns drawn, and
Yeah,
they're like,
they
"Oh
showed them.
shit, yeah!" Like
Yeah, they
that's
showed them.
crazy.
well, and one guy died.
Yeah, yeah, they get shot, right? Yeah. Serial swatter
it's
Tyler
just
Bays.
the-
Yep.
It's just the whole values and
Like those kind of people, I think. Oh, Web of Make Believe, is that the one?
yeah, that's the series
Yeah.
I was watching.
Yep. Yeah, so those kind of people, like I think you're right. Like they're not productive members of society. They don't have anything to contribute. And I'm all for like taking them out of society, whether it be
But
you know, not capital
No,
punishment, but you know, make him go break rocks or something. Make him go dig a you know, make him go lay gravel, do something.
Where does this gravel come from, mommy?
Right, yeah.
A serial swatter did this for us.
Well, no, I mean,
No,
like give him something, like you know.
But
we
he
need,
didn't. But he was molded by the internet and phones.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like if you take that, if you don't give them a path at a young age,
right?
of being a productive member of society,
Yeah, and knowing the difference.
they end up not, and then
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Well, we should get rid of them." Well, yeah, now.
Well,
But
I mean, like,
how do
but
we give
there's-
more kids a chance?
So there's like, I mean, I think there's an interesting, I was like a dynamic, but like, I mean, you have to look at like that person and say, okay, is he mentally stable enough to say like, okay, if he wasn't on the phone or on the internet, that he wouldn't like start, you know, pulling the wings off flies or torturing animals. Like, I mean,
That's impossible
is he
to
still
say
gonna
at that
is he
point.
still gonna go down, you know, are you turning into a Minority Report type thing where now you're gonna
Well-
say they're gonna go down that path regardless of what direction they head because of their mental issues or this or that. And I mean, there's
Well-
people like that. Like, yeah, there may be, but
it's impossible to say.
no, but I mean, I
Like
think
you can't
know,
go back in time
it's
and send them down a different path and see what happens.
no, and I think that's when you get into like, you know, the whole argument about like, oh, school shooters or you know, just mass shooters. It's like, oh, they were such a good kid. If only they had this, or they weren't bullied, or their parents paid more attention. Well, but
And that's probably true.
but then it also comes out like, you know, oh, well, you know, the cops have been called to his house like 8 times and they didn't do anything, you know, because he threatened he was going to hurt himself or
But
shoot his
because
parents.
of those things,
But
right?
like,
So if you go back far enough,
yeah,
and you give everybody an even foot to start on, and you got it starts with educate, like
yeah,
molding kids to treat people better,
yeah. There was
not as
a, oh god, I can't remember who it was. There was a psychologist that wrote a book, or maybe it was just a paper. I remember reading part of it where they talk about
See,
like,
you couldn't even read a book.
no, I know, I couldn't.
I'm
It's
just
horrible.
kidding.
And it was dude, this was like 20 years ago when I was in like college. It was like something I had to do for, you know, one of the freaking courses. And it was
Like the Rye?
yeah, the because I remember I also checked out what was the book, the one that talked what was the book that the book about the suicide Not
What?
Faces of Death, the other one. Because I
Um,
wrote a paper on it.
I
Oh
have no
God, it
idea what
was
you're
it was a
talking
big
about.
it was a big book.
You see, this is what higher education is doing to people.
I'll have to look for it because it was a book like, and it was like everyone made a big deal about it because they were like, oh, like, if you get this book out, it's like, it's
Was it
about
a
suicide.
novel or like a
No, it was
biography?
like
What was it?
I don't remember if it was like it was a book somebody wrote, and it was like the
Well,
perspective of
that's
a
good.
guy, but it was like the perspective, like a third person type perspective of
On suicide?
yeah, and I can't. Oh God,
Was it The Denial of Death?
no, no,
The
no.
Psychology of Suicide?
Oh shit, I'd have to
I'm just gonna
find
keep
it.
saying things. Why people die by suicide?
No, no. I wanted to say
Uh,
Faces of Death, but that's the movie. That's not
yeah,
it.
that's a movie.
Um, but anyway, the whole point was like, so there was a guy that wrote this article, this
For
journal.
Cult History and Truth?
No, no, this was like late
Okay.
90s.
All right, never mind.
Final Exit.
Anyway,
Final Exit.
Final Exit. Oh,
Yeah. Yep.
put
It
this on my Goodreads.
the full title is Final Exit: the practicalities of self-deliverance and assisted suicide for the dying. I wrote a paper on it. Uh, uh, and I may be totally
Oh,
misremembering
there
this
it
book because
is.
there's a bunch. Yeah,
Oh,
but it was
3.93 out of 5.
yeah. Oh God, it came out in 1980. Holy crap! Final Exit Network. Jesus. Um, yeah, it was about like assisted suicide, like helping the like elderly dying or people with terminal illness or people who wanted to die, like like oh, they felt they were like, nothing else to live for type thing, and people were all like, oh, it promotes suicide, blah blah blah. And then they said like, oh, if you checked it out, you were on like a watch list because it's all that crap. But there was a guy that wrote an article based on stuff from that book, and what he said was, as like a psychologist, he said everybody basically has those intrusive thoughts about like, I'm going to do the swatting, or I'm going to go commit suicide, or I'm going to commit a heinous crime like a mass shooting or school shooting or whatever. And it's the thing that differentiates the normal people who don't do those things from the people that do is basically whether or not you act on those intrusive thoughts or you let those intrusive thoughts win. And like he made examples where like, oh, everybody thinks about kicking the old lady down the stairs, but the ones that do it are the ones that like, society needs to keep an eye on. And it's like, well, yeah, but after they've done that stuff, isn't it too late?
Yeah. How did they get there?
Yeah.
Right.
Book was trying to
That's
give
what
me a hug. It was fine.
you saw. That was the first one I saw. I was like,
That's
oh,
hilarious.
maybe I'm not gonna add this to my want to read list.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, dude. That was like, so that was late 90s. It was like 96, 97 when I was at DeVry. And I think it was for like a literature course or something. I did that. And it was like, they're like, oh, pick a book and write a report on it. And I'm like, oh, I'll pick
That's
this
the book
one.
you picked, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And because I remember it was like a big thing. It was like in the news and people were
I don't
talking
remember
about
that.
it because like so many people wanted it. And I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like the thing is, that's the whole thing. Like if whether or not they act on that intrusive thought is basically what differentiates them from you or me being the normal people that we're not going to call the police and say that this guy's murdering everybody in his house and cause him to get swatted. We're not going to kick the old lady down the elevator shaft. It's like you have enough sense based on your upbringing and your education to know not to act on that kind of crap.
Right.
And I don't know,
But
like, you know, it's funny because he made a statement where like they interview, you know, like 1,000 people or whatever, and they said it was pretty much split, almost 50-50, to where people admitted to having intrusive thoughts, considering them but not acting on them, and then people that like did, to where it was like, oh, I keyed that guy's car because, you know, he makes a lot of money, and they basically did it. Now, you know, it wasn't people who like committed murder or anything like that, because they couldn't get those people because they're probably in jail, but it was like, you know, they they figured that, like, you know, everybody has this thought process at some point in their life. Some people just act on it.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Bill Burr stand up, but he's like, he said it basically says it's okay to have the thoughts, you just don't do it when you hit a
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and
Right? Like,
that's the whole intrusive thought there, you know, process is like
like,
you like,
cause
oh
he,
God, you know, I could hit her, and it's like you don't, because you know better.
right, right,
And then there's that one
yeah,
idiot that does, and then that guy, you know, that's like everyone says it, you know, now I've seen it a lot. Oh, he let the intrusive thoughts win, you know, or he
no,
listened to the voices. Like, well, you know, yeah. It's but I think you're right. Like the kids that don't, you know, if that's all they're exposed to and they're not taught to
yeah,
know
cell
better,
phones and
yeah.
YouTube, right?
But
Like people are horrible online.
like you look at like I look at stuff that like my grandson watches, and these kids that play Minecraft, play Fortnite, and they're big YouTubers that do it because he knows all of them, and they've got millions of followers on YouTube and all this stuff, and that's great. He's fine with that. But then it's like you watch some of these guys that have like they do prank videos, which is like a big thing, and like these guys clearly are like teetering on the edge of some like craziness of like you could seriously get hurt, either
Yeah,
yourself or other people, by doing these stupid stunts. And it's like that's the kind of stuff that like you got to teach them, like, okay, what he's doing is stupid and idiotic, and you don't do that. You know, like you could watch him play video games and do all that crap, but like, you know, if he's riding the skateboard down, you know, down 30 flights of stairs and he falls and breaks his arm, like, don't do that shit. Don't be like him. And that may not be as
yeah.
extreme, but you know, that's the big thing
Well,
with these prank videos. There was that guy that got killed because as a prank they were pretending to rob people. Well, they picked one guy and his like girlfriend in like a mall or something. The guy was packing. He said, oh shit, this guy comes up to me and he's holding a knife. I defended myself, and then the jury is the he went to the, you know, the family sued him, and he's like, he went to court, and they're like, nope, he acted in self-defense. And
yeah,
you know, the family's like, oh, it was a prank video, and he's like, yeah, but the guy didn't know at the time that's what was happening. All he saw was this person coming at me with a knife at me and my girlfriend. Like, I'm gonna defend
yeah.
myself.
He's
And
reacting. I mean,
yeah,
especially in this day and age,
yeah, you don't do that. That's
you don't
stupid. Like,
fuck
why
around.
would you?
Yeah,
Yeah. So many people
everybody's
carry
packing
guns
now.
and all that. Yeah, I mean, they're packing, or they got a
Um,
knife, they got something. It's like, or they're
yeah,
ready to like take a swing.
yeah, and people on the internet are horrible. Like, because they don't have to see someone's
Yes,
face; they just say horrible
the
things,
keyboard
and
warrior
that's
stuff
what's
is
going in
real.
these kids' heads.
Yes.
And then they try to talk like that in
Oh
front
my
of
God.
people,
Yes.
and you're like, "Oh my God!" Like, it's just horrible. I don't know.
I don't get, like,
You have to learn to contain.
I hear kids say shit like that, like when we're at the park, and I'm like, what, like, where the hell are these kids' parents? Like,
Yeah.
clearly they're
Well, they're
learning this
probably
somewhere.
working a second job,
Yeah.
and they think the
Right.
phone and the PlayStation will babysit them.
Yeah, yeah. And sitting in that lobby on Call of Duty is not something you want to
Or
do.
in your VR, right?
Yeah, it's even worse than the VR because Jesus,
Right.
like, look, you want to see some weird debauchery and the villainy of the internet. Look up VR chat. Look up
No.
some of those. It's like, holy crap!
I'm
Like
not gonna do
people.
that.
No, I mean it's like you go in there and you're like, I'm playing a game, and like I don't know, it's like what the hell? Like you just like I'm logging off. Fuck this.
Yeah,
I don't need to
yeah.
see two furries doing their thing. Like no way.
Well, and like arguments and stuff, like everything is bait.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
people can't, they just start going and it's stupid stuff like
It's
swearing
I think
and name calling.
it's the keyboard warrior syndrome. You
Warrior,
know, they're behind
keyboard
that.
warrior
Yeah, the keyboard
syndrome.
warriors. They're behind the screen. They're behind the keyboard. They can say anything they want. They can post anything they want without repercussions, because they know
Yeah,
that that guy on the other side that's reading that comment on YouTube could be halfway across the country. You know, and I don't. I
yeah.
mean,
There's a low chance of them doing anything.
the problem is like, oh, that guy lives in your neighborhood or your city and recognizes you and knows your name. Yeah, you got a problem. But I mean, they don't think like that, and
Yeah.
that's
Well,
everything on the internet. Like it doesn't get deleted. Like no matter how much you delete shit, there's copies cached.
yeah,
Wayback Machine's got copies. People save shit, and if you're somebody prominent, politician, president, whatever, look at all the tweets that Trump put out during his presidency that he deleted or
yeah,
somebody deleted that are still out there because somebody monitors his account, and as soon as something gets posted, it's like screenshotted, saved for eternity on the internet.
right.
The same
Yeah.
same thing with these videos. Like, like I look at it, it's like all these women that are, on OnlyFans. Like if they're showing their face, there's a good chance somebody may recognize them or see them and go,
Yeah.
"Oh, I know you. I used to buy your content." Like, or stalk them. I mean, that's still a thing too. A lot of streamers get stalked by people that are just crazy.
Well, and and that like that's how swatting starts, right? You're
Yeah,
across the country or whatever. You just
yeah.
call it in. And I just read a story today about some kid who lost a knife fight in COD
Oh, geez.
and then spent 6 months finding the guy and then stabbed him.
Oh my god. Oh, was that the one where they did it was like a bet? You lost money or whatever.
No,
I.
that was the thing I just sent. That
Okay.
serial swatter.
Oh, that
It was
was
a
the guy.
dollar
He
fifty.
yeah,
It was
he
a dollar
lost.
fifty
Yeah, he
bet.
lost the bet. Yeah. Okay, that was the guy. Yep.
Yeah,
I remember when that happened. That was like big news because
yeah.
it's like, oh, like, hey, who the hell
That's,
bets on a video game like COD? Well, a lot more people than you think. It's an e-sport apparently.
how do we fix it?
I
How do we
think they
fix
should.
everything?
I think what they should do is turn the cyberbullying into an e-sport. Like you could have teams and you could put them in like chat rooms and shit. It'd be like Wild and
Oh my
Out,
God.
except like instead of like a rap off, they would just like, oh yeah, I fucked your mother and like,
Your
like
mom
like
smells of elderberry.
yeah, it's just like a WhatsApp chat room that just streams to like like the
That's
ESPN 8
funny.
the Ocho. There's no
I like
talking, no
it.
nothing. Maybe a couple commentators or something like.
I don't think that would go over well. I think that kids would see that and then they would start talking like that while trying to get their
Exactly.
lunch at school.
Yes. Yes.
Give me some meatloaf. I fucked your mother.
Hey, give me meatloaf, bitch. It's
Oh,
funny because like my wife, she works at the school in the lunchroom, and like she's like, we get kids that are like, she said there's a kid that was like two black kids that were saying like they're calling each other the N word, and she's like, I was like, you guys shut up, like I don't want to hear that. That's offensive to me. And she's like, the kids like didn't know how to react, like they'd never been told stop doing that.
right.
And I'm like, good for you, because like yeah,
Yeah.
it's why is it okay for them to say it, and if
Well,
I say it, it's offensive and bad, but to hear them say it's not, like, no, it goes both ways. And she's like, yeah,
mm,
she's like, stop. She's like, you don't come in here and say that and stand in line. And she's like, they shut up and just kind of paid their for lunch and like walked out. Like they probably had nobody, because nobody had ever challenged them. That's the thing. These kids, nobody
they probably
challenges them.
don't know the history of it either.
Well, yeah,
Like
they don't.
I don't know that I kind of think that they should get a free pass on that. I don't think that we
But
should say the word, but if they say
no,
it, I
but
think they should understand the reverence of
Well,
it.
and that's the thing is I think like nobody had ever stopped and called them out on it. And when she did, she's like, yeah, they just kind of shut up and like sheepishly walked off, after they got their food. And she's like, good for you,
Yeah.
because nobody probably had ever called them out. Like if they do that at home, nobody calls them on it. Like because they probably hear that at home, or they
Well,
hear it online, or they hear it in
that's
videos. Like
so. That's so. I don't know what to say. It's like so part of their culture.
it is, and I get it, and like
It's
yeah,
in their DNA. It's just one of those things.
it's part of all the stuff, like you said, the meaning behind it. Like it has reverence and or reverence. It has.
I'm
I don't even know what the word is I'm looking for.
gonna call DeVry and see if he were an
Yeah,
actual student.
yeah. They'd be like, nope. I want his curriculum on my desk tomorrow morning.
That's funny.
Um, like I don't, I think it has meaning in the context of like slavery and how those people were treated, and like maybe they learn about that kind of stuff at school, but like, do they really understand like the
Well,
context
I don't.
behind it?
I don't know that you and I, right now, can exercise to have any opinion on it.
No, I can't. But I mean, like,
We totally
I
should not, and I
I
don't think
only
any
I
white
only
person
know what
should.
I learn in school, but it's like you listen to, you know, how many freaking rappers use that in their songs, how many movies or how many YouTube videos like use that word. Like people throw it around like it's, hi, hello. It's part of their like cordial greeting now. Like
Right.
that's the kind of shit that like if you truly understood where it came from, like I don't think you'd use it that way. Like because I don't think that's the kind of context that it was ever meant to be used in. Like it started as like a derogatory term. I mean, that's at least the way I understood it. You know,
I don't know about that. I don't know. Like I don't know, right? Like
I mean,
you and I, we don't
yeah,
know. We
we
have
don't,
no
yeah,
opinion
I
on
don't,
this.
but I mean, to me, that's what it seems to like. I don't, why the hell would I ever use that term? Like if I'm not going to call you that, I'm not going to call, anybody that. Like what? Why would you even use that term?
Yeah.
Because that's the connotation that comes with it now. It's like it may not have started like that. I don't know.
But we it was more prevalent when we were in high school,
Oh yeah,
and you and I definitely we said a lot of things that are offensive now
yeah,
because it was out there.
yep.
Like it was, you said it, and we didn't say it to people. We knew better, but
Well,
you,
but even if you
we
said
might
it,
have.
like maybe you didn't understand what it meant, and I think that's a lot of the problem these kids
Right.
have is they say
But
shit that they don't know
but
what it means.
right, because they hear it in songs, they see it in
Yep,
TV, movie, games,
yep.
internet. People say, "Well, video games don't make kids violent." Well, maybe not, but they could.
Either that, but they are impressioning upon them,
Right,
societal norms that really shouldn't be
right. It's sensory
accepted.
input.
And I mean, there are games that glorify that. I mean, the big thing about like Grand Theft Auto, you beat up on
Yeah.
hookers. Like, I mean,
hmm
but like you and I knew better playing games like that. That wasn't what you do in life. Like,
Did we?
I don't know. I didn't. I didn't grow up and go pick up
I
hookers in my
feel I
car on the
feel like
street.
we said some things online and typed some things that probably could get back to us.
Probably, and I, whatever. I mean, I don't up to it, but it's like I think back to like when we were in like grade school and high school, where like a lot of these kids are now, and like I thank God that there was no like cell phones to record shit, at least not that prevalent. Everybody's got a
Yeah.
friggin' phone now, like everything's
Yeah, it
online.
sucks. Everything is online.
Yeah,
Like you see the fights, and there's like you see fights on
yeah,
Twitter, YouTube, or whatever,
yeah.
and there's 9 people holding cell phones trying to record it.
What I don't get is like there's some pretty brutal stuff that happens, and like all these people stand around recording it. Nobody thinks to like call somebody to help,
Yeah.
like police or. I mean, It's like,
They don't know how to use the phone to call. They only know how to tweet.
can I
They
Instagram?
don't realize that there's a phone.
Yeah, what's the police department's Twitter handle? I gotta at them.
Yeah. Tag them.
Look them up on Instagram. Hashtag cops help me.
Right.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is that, or like they just don't want to get involved. Like, I'm not gonna step in the middle of that. Like, I'll just watch it. World Star, and they record it and put it online.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, I don't know how we solve it.
We can't.
Like, how do we let people do what they want, but also steer them down a path where they're productive not only for society but for themselves?
I mean, I think a lot of it starts with the parents, with us, because if we teach the kids the common, like, this is right, this is wrong, like, okay, you watch these videos, you play these games, like, the difference, like, it's just a game, go beat up hookers, it's not a thing you do. Like, I mean, it's Grand Theft Auto.
Where did you find hookers?
Yeah, like, it's Grand Theft Auto. You don't go steal a car and beat up a hooker. That's not real life. Like, you understand that, right? I mean,
yeah.
Call of Duty is not like a lobby where you can swear at everybody and call them the N-word and tell them you screwed their mother and jump out of an airplane and kill people and just respawn.
Come back.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's a game. It's not real, and like, you don't act like that. Like, it's not appropriate. Like, people need to tell. Like, it shouldn't be said, but there are parents, I think, that like need to sit the kids down and go, look, like, you're acting like a little idiot. Stop this crap. Because the problem is, if you don't nip it in the bud and they keep doing it, I think it enforces their thought process of like, I'll just get away with it as long as I can.
But so two things, like, it's a vicious cycle. Like, parents come home from getting beat up at work to just bad news, bills, taxes.
Yep.
Their assessment went up when they did nothing to their house.
Their kid drew a swastika or something, or
it's on them to challenge it.
Yeah, the kid swore. The kid gets kicked out of school. I mean, it's like any of that crap. Like, they just don't want to deal with it.
And the parents also are staring at phones.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they don't want to come home and be real with their kid. They want to, they see bills and they're exhausted. They got to produce food somehow.
Yeah.
And there's their phone. I think that, we should get rid of phones.
The phones are the problems. I think we've solved it right there. We have to get rid of
social media
phones.
And phones.
Just get rid of phone. We're going to go back to rotary dial because nobody knows how to use it. It's like,
yeah, who's going to tweet something on a rotary?
Anybody born before like 1995 anybody born after 1995 probably doesn't know how to use a rotary phone.
Yeah. All right. I think we should end on we're going to eliminate all phones.
Yes, that's a good one. Good plan.
Good. And Eric didn't join us despite being in the Central Standard Time of Florida.
Yeah, what the hell, Eric?
Which I didn't realize existed.
Yeah, that's mind blown.
But I'm American, so I'm stupid.
Hey, at least we know where Florida is on the map, right?
Yeah, we did good there. I Googled it.
That's right. On my phone.
Yeah, my phone. God damn it. Oh, all right. Well, until next Friday.
Yep. Later, man. Have a good night.
Later. Bye.